North Korea dictator Kim Jong Un making nice ahead of his big powwow with the president in Singapore. That's actually 1 month from today. But is this charm offensive, including his latest promise to invite journalists to see the dismantling of one nuclear site, really to be trusted? Presidential historian Doug Wead on that. Always good to have you, Doug. You know, you could argue as well, will our approach offering economic incentives for the North Koreans to do just that be trusted? We have a little bit more proof of that because we've done it with the likes of the Japanese and the Germans. So we have a history of keeping our word, but what is your sense of this?
Yeah, neither one can be trusted. Too much is at stake. In his mind, his survival is at stake, and in our minds, our survival is at stake. You don't take chances when nuclear weapons are involved. You verify.
So when we got these hostages out, yet another overture ahead of the meetings, and then, of course, this denuclearization commitment. I know it's a strong term, and it's in the eye of the beholder. I grant that. But there has been a lot of leeriness of the American position and whether we would be forthcoming with whatever economic promises we're making. But again, I don't know why that should be in doubt, or why the fact that Mike Pompeo has said, look, we have a history of this. We did it to enemies who became friends. We believe you, a former enemy, could become a friend, much as an enemy in the case of Japan became a friend. Rebuilding after World War II and helping the Germans, they became a friend. So there is a sort of a past on that's consistent. How do you think that's going to resonate?
Yes, but there's some differences. Nazi Germany was left in ruins before we helped them out. So there are some differences, and he's got Gaddafi in the back of his mind, rightly so, if you were advising him. There's some subtle differences.
Where Gaddafi was overthrown, and he doesn't want to get overthrown or killed. I can see that. So going into that, and these discussions, whether you want to link it to other presidents who've had important powwows, whether it's Ronald Reagan at Reykjavik with Mikhail Gorbachev or elsewhere, what's important to keep in mind? This is a one-day event.
Well, it's important to keep in mind that what Trump himself does is critical. Everybody talks about the preparation. That's true. But look at Yalta. FDR went into Yalta. America was strong, maybe stronger than she'd ever been in her life. We are on the verge of getting nuclear weapons. We had just beaten Rundstedt in the Battle of the Bulge. We were better than ever, and yet he gave away Eastern Europe. He was weak at a time when America was strong. He'd be dead within 2 months. He was weak in his health. He brought back his daughter Anna to run the White House and to run the Yalta Conference and to run interference to keep Eleanor Roosevelt out of the way while he renewed his relationship with his mistress, Lucy Rutherford. All of that detail nobody knew at the time, but we can look back and we can see America was strong, FDR was weak. This time, Trump has to be strong, and he's got to be willing to walk away like Reagan did.
Yeah, well, he says he's ready to do that. So I have no doubt that he would. Ronald Reagan did. Other presidents have. So we'll watch closely. Doug Wead, very good having you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil.
All right, you know.